Hi guys, today we're going to talk about something that I have been asked a lot, and that is, what the heck is Patreon and should I be on it? And I think some people, when they ask me this, they're meaning like, should I be following people on there? Is this where all the authors are going? And other people, when they ask me that, are actually meaning like, as an author or a writer, should I be creating a Patreon page? Should I become a creator on Patreon? And what the heck would I offer if I do that? So let's talk about all these things, and just so you know, I want you to stay tuned until the end because I have a super exciting surprise bonus announcement thing. I'm just using all my fun words to describe it, but something secret that I've been dying to reveal, and it's not huge, but it's exciting. Anyway, moving on. So let's talk about what is Patreon and should you be on it? And then I'll give you some examples of people that I follow and the cool things that they offer, and then some things that I offer and some updates to what I offer, which are very exciting. Okay, let me just tell you now, because I'm really bad with secrets. So I just want to tell you really quickly that I have just decided, like yesterday, that I want to offer ARCs to all my patrons. Like, not physical books, because heck, that'd be expensive. I'm saying heck a lot, and it's just like my word of the day apparently. But books are very expensive to both like print, bring them to me, and then mail them again. So that's not something I'm talking about, but I'm talking about electronic ARCs where you get to read the book before anybody else. Did I forget to explain what ARCs are again? I do that a lot. ARCs are advanced reader copies, and that's just like, whether it's a month before the book comes out, a couple weeks before, like 6 weeks before, it really depends on when the book is done, like ready for you to read. But the idea is that I have in mind possibly like 6 books coming out in 2019. Oh my gosh, I truly don't know. Like, it all depends on how the goals go. It could be more than that and it could be less than that, but basically I just want to be able to offer my patrons ARC copies of all these books, like whatever books that I'm putting out. And it starts with, I don't think it'll be announced yet, so I guess I can't really tell you, but a secret project book that I think you're really gonna like. And that's a wrap. Let's move on. So let's go back into what the heck is Patreon, okay? So let's just walk through it really quick. I'm gonna let the creator of Patreon actually show you. I wanna play a little clip from him.
Patreon is a membership platform that makes it really easy for creators to get paid. We're using the idea of patronage, which is actually a really old idea.
Exactly, Jack. If it weren't for patrons, we wouldn't have Romeo and Juliet or Mona Lisa. Mozart, Shakespeare, Da Vinci, they all had patrons, mostly aristocrats who paid them to create so they could enjoy their works and brag to their friends about how cool they are for supporting creators.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, but better. Creators of every kind, podcasters, YouTubers, musicians, writers, allow their fans to become patrons or members. Patrons get a monthly subscription-style payment for the level of membership they want. Like, for $5 a month, you get early access to content. $10 a month, extra videos. $20 a month, behind-the-scenes stuff. You name it. This provides creators with a sustainable income while retaining full creative control. And it allows fans to connect with them on a whole new level.
We have the flexibility to create without having to necessarily worry about how that's going to impact us financially. And that level of freedom is, I can't tell you how important that level of freedom is.
Thousands of creators and creative teams are using Patreon to run their business their way. They're doing what they love, and they're being paid to do it by the people who love their work most. So if you're a professional creator, start a page and give your fans the opportunity to become patrons. It could help you do the best work of your life.
The writing life income is kind of a roller coaster, and you never know what to expect, so it's helping me out in that way, and it's helping me to afford things like cover design and my editor and all the different marketing things that I want to do to provide you cool content. And in return, I bring you tons of exciting things that bring value to your life, such as writing and editing advice, critiques of your work, just hinting at another new thing that I have coming up, and then of course ARC copies and other fun things like that, which we'll go into what other people offer so you can get some ideas if you're interested. But basically, it's a really cool partnership, and it's a much more tight relationship, like a real friendship with the patrons and the creator, where you really get to know them, you get to bond with them and ask them your questions and just have a real relationship with somebody who can pour into your life and mentor you in some ways. That's really exciting. But now let's talk about what should you offer? Like, if you want to be a patron, what would you enjoy seeing? And then if you want to possibly create a Patreon page, what are some things that you could consider making that you could just brainstorm about? The first and probably most obvious one is something called Discord. And this is not something that you have to have if you have a Patreon page, but it's super, super cool. And I see a lot of creators, all different kinds of creators, whether musicians or artists or video people, whatever you want to call them, just like all the different creators on Patreon offer very often a Discord group. And it's basically like a writing chat room. Well, in our case, it's about writing. And you can just create all these different channels. I'll kind of pop a picture up for you so you can see it, but you can create all these different channels and just talk about all different kinds of subjects like writing and editing and publishing and just everything. Like, we can constantly add new channels. There's no limit that I'm aware of. And so we just have so much fun connecting in this group, and I've seen so much growth. We've done writing sprints for NaNoWriMo, and we've done them since NaNoWriMo as well. I'm just so impressed by Discord. Like, I almost didn't make a Discord page because I'm like, what is this? I don't know what this is. This is weird. But I'm so thankful that I did, because I can tell that a lot of us have really bonded and gotten to know each other and made deep friendships. People have found not only beta readers but critique partners in this group already, and it's pretty small and it's still growing, so it has so much room and so much potential. Before I keep going on what you can offer, I should just say that I see Patreon as having kind of like 3 distinct categories for all the things you can offer. Basically, it's educate, motivate, or create. In the education category, I see people do writing posts, editing posts. I do social media posts as well, posts on self-publishing. I see people do all kinds of education, whether it's video education or written, or I don't know what else there would be. And then when it comes to the inspirational category, I often see less of that. That's more the Discord group, the motivational kind of stuff. Maybe in other creators, like outside of writing, there might be more inspiration, motivation type stuff. But definitely the Discord group is the main place for that. Then the last category is probably the one that I see most often all over Patreon, in every category, not just writers, but in general, and that's creations. And this is so broad. It can just be like anything. It can be like, as a writer, it could be short stories. You could offer, I've seen people who are very successful offer short stories. I've seen them offer bonus chapters. I've seen them offer, and I kind of want to do this, but I don't know if there's that much interest in it. So like, let me know if this interests you, but I've considered offering the option to like be a character in the book, to be like named after them, or to name them yourself, like a minor character, probably not the main character, but to actually like have that in the book. Or I've also seen and have considered naming you guys in my acknowledgements page, which I think is so cool. Something that I have just added is giving shout outs in my YouTube videos to patrons at a certain level and up. By the way, that's something I probably should have mentioned, but like with Patreon, this is so cool to me, is that whatever level you choose, you get all the levels before that. So if I, for example, with my current $10 level, I wanted to have the exclusive videos and the shout outs on my YouTube channel. So you're getting exclusive videos that are just for patrons, that are like tutorials or Q&As or whatever, like day in the life, whatever is not going out into the public, you're getting that. And you're getting shout outs on my actual public videos. You're getting your name shouted out on every single video. But then you also get everything prior to that. So like the $5 social media level with posts on how to do social media, the advice level, which is like advice on writing and editing, and the Discord group and the resource library. And so anyway, I'm kind of rambling, so I'm gonna like move on from that, but I just wanted you to see how there's so many options. And really, if you're gonna start a Patreon page, the biggest thing that I would encourage you to do is not do too many things. It's better to actually narrow your focus and to start with a very specific offer. So if you know that you want to, what's a good example? If you know that you're currently about to publish, you could offer your experiences, or write all the mistakes that you've made, which I'm just giving myself ideas right now because I've made a lot of mistakes and I could help you navigate that. But anyway, you get the idea. Like, pick a very specific subject, or like if you do have a book out or it's coming out soon, you could offer the acknowledgments page like I mentioned and give people credit, or let them be a character in the book. Or if you had videos, you could say, you know, I'm going to give you an actual verbal shout out in the videos. It's totally up to you. But whatever you do, start out more focused, start out with a very manageable amount. And then my second tip to you would actually be another thing that I have not been doing very well, but I want to work on, and that is to offer things that you would be doing anyway. So basically the idea of Patreon is to free the author up, to create, to make the things that they love, to do the work that they love, and the patrons are helping you do that. They're like paying for it in advance so that they can get it, you know, the end product. But if you're offering them things that you weren't planning on doing, like for example, writing advice posts and editing posts and social media posts and videos, and yeah, that's not really the books. So what I'm trying to do is like veer back into what I love, which is not that I don't love giving advice, because I do, and I'm going to keep that, but I love the books, and just growing as a writer and publishing books. So that's why I've started the ARCs category, because I feel like that's valuable to me and I can offer that to you because I'm doing it anyway. You know what I mean? So like offering things that you're doing anyway. So like, don't offer short stories, speaking to myself, if you don't really enjoy doing short stories and you have a million novels that you want to write. Like that would be wasting my time. So I considered, I wanted to do like a short story about Olive from the Number series, and I thought that could be so fun to write her story. But right now, it would be adding to my plate. So instead of adding to my plate, which I've been doing quite a bit with Patreon, I'm instead looking at what's already on my plate, basically. That's the metaphor I should have started with. Like, look at what's on your plate already, what knowledge you already have to share, what creations you already have to share. And look at what you have going on and see what you could offer. And maybe potentially you have something that you're currently offering for free, but you could make that like a sign-up bonus, or you could consider not making it free anymore if it's super valuable, and saying, you know, it was awesome that you got it for free, and now if you want it, you can be a patron to get it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I think that if you put all that time and effort into making something valuable, then you do deserve to be paid for it. I hate asking for money, I absolutely hate it, but you also need money to like be an author, to be supported as a writer. So before I go into the surprise bonus exciting news that I've been telling you about, I do want to say one last thing about Patreon that it's hard for me to say it because I wouldn't want to hear it, but basically this is what I've learned in my research. A very small percentage of your following will want to be patrons, and so if you don't have a following yet, I suggest that you consider waiting to create a Patreon until you have a larger fan base. And it doesn't have to be any specific number, but just know that, like for example, I think there's like a 2% conversion rate typically in the business world in general. Like if you look at any of the different people who have coaching businesses and stuff like that, then they'll tell you that the percentage of people who sign up for stuff is actually pretty small out of a following. So the idea is to wait to start Patreon until you have built up a following, like fairly good size. It doesn't have to be huge, but just knowing that if you have a smaller following, your Patreon might start out smaller, and there's nothing wrong with that. I would just say, I guess, have expectations that line up with, like, don't expect to have more patrons than followers, because I don't think that's a thing. Patreon, it doesn't like, you don't get people searching Patreon for who to follow very often, if you know what I mean. Like, it's usually you are the one promoting it from your social media and your platforms in general, and then people come from there to Patreon. So anyway, I think you get the idea. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now let's talk about all the new things that I've added. Oh my gosh, I have been working so hard on this, and just so you know, I am kind of a constant like tweaker. is that a word? I like to tweak things and always try to be making them better. So things change a lot, but I try to wait month per month, and then each month around the end of the month I take a look at what's not working and consider removing it, and I take a look at what is working and consider making that better. So all right, let's just take a look at the page. Okay, first we have the Writers Club, which by the way is the Discord group that I was telling you about. And then the next thing that I have is the Advice Club, and this is brand new, adding a resource library. And so this is something that I'm taking all of the different links and different resources that we've shared across the internet, whether it's, you know, just articles, blogs, Authortube videos, you name it, and I'm organizing them into a library that you can easily search and access different things. And patrons will get a code for this, and they will be able to just hop right into the library to get whatever they need and help on the spot for everything, like writing, editing, publishing, marketing, you name it. That's something that's still in the works. It's very brand new, so it's going to be a small little library at first, but it's going to grow quite a bit. I'm thinking to make this level the Patreon resource library, so that even if I do step away from continuing to post, that you will still be able to obviously access me and ask me questions at any time, but you will also be able to access this resource library that I'm going to put a ton of time into organizing it and making it beautiful and easily searchable. So I think that will really be worth the investment. And then the next level is my social media club. This hasn't really changed at all because people seem to really enjoy the social media tips. I offer things like how to plan a month's worth of content in 60 minutes, or engagement tips like asking questions, or hashtag advice, and so on. And so I continue to share that, but you can also access all the past posts, which is really nice. The next level is changing just a little bit. It's exclusive videos, which has been really fun, and I'm going to continue to let people vote on what they want to see. And then also I have added your name in the credits of my public YouTube videos, so anybody at this level and up gets their name shouted out in every single YouTube video that I put on my channel. And this is where I get really excited. This is the bonus that I was telling you guys about. I have created a sign-up bonus for January only at this moment. I think it's going to be January only. That is a little coffee table book, as I like to call it, called Penny's Puppy Pack for Writers. And if you guys have seen way back when I made a couple memes based on Penny, I'll pop up on this screen here for you. But basically, I just had so much fun making these, and then I took a look at them and I was like, I can make so many more of these. I think I have about 30 now, and I threw them into a book and I put the book online, and I actually did this on Christmas Eve because I was supposed to be taking the day off, but I was like, I don't know how to not work anymore. So I kept making this book, and I had so much fun making it, so I want to offer this to you guys. January only. This is my surprise bonus gift to anybody who signs up for Patreon in January. And then I have two other levels. So I have a self-publishing club, as I call it, which is brand new. Like, I did it last month, like a test with a very small amount of availability, and now currently I'm still testing it, so I only allow up to 5 patrons for this. And it's a coaching letter, which is like a 1 to 3 page document on your pain points, like the different things that you're struggling with, where I can give you strategies, tips, and advice specific to you that I wrote out. Last time I did this, I wrote like 9 pages, so yeah, it's probably gonna be longer than that, but anyway, that's the idea. And then you have the option to choose that, or a manuscript critique of up to 1,000 words. So it could be your blurb if you wanted, and I can help you with that and give you some tips that I've learned, or it could be your first 1,000 words of like your first chapter. If you want to get in on that now, I can't guarantee it's gonna stay, but if there's a lot of interest, then I will continue to do that. And then that leads to my last tier, which is the books club. And this is like every single month you have the option to choose between one of 3 things. You can choose to get an advanced reader copy in a physical form, so you can actually get like a paperback of the books before they come out. or you can get a signed copy of one of my published books, which you guys probably know what those are. And then you have the option finally to choose a manuscript critique, like a developmental critique of up to 5,000 words. So at this level, basically I'm trying to make it kind of a rotation and keep it open. If there's like one thing that people absolutely love, then I might just make this level that thing in the future. Or if there's like a pretty steady, you like to switch back and forth. One month you want an arc, the next month you want a manuscript critique, and so on. That's fine. Also, I don't think I've said this, but you don't have to stay at the level that you choose. If you just want a manuscript critique once, and then you want to go down to the dollar Discord level, people have done that, and I say absolutely go for it. So anyway, I'm rambling. I hope this makes sense to you guys, and gosh, it's just been so fun to do a Patreon. So I want to encourage you to just scope out Patreon and see what people are offering. There's so many cool things out there, and I would love to work with you if you decide to become a Patreon, patron. If you haven't noticed, it's hard to switch between those two words, Patreon and patron. But anyway, my husband makes fun of me a lot. And that's all I have for you guys today. So I hope you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to support my channel. I am so happy you're here. Thank you for watching this whole long video and all my other long videos. And I'll talk to you guys again soon.